Today's tip is about when to take the keys away. Hi, it's me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. Today we're going to have a little conversation with my friend, Officer Joel Quattlebaum from the Largo Police Department about when is it time that maybe mom or dad shouldn't be driving anymore. It's a tough one.
It is a tough one, Linda. You're right. It's not always an easy conversation to have. And it might be something that you get your local police department or agency jurisdiction involved with that conversation. A lot of times I get asked by caregivers, when is the right time?
Right.
And to be honest, the best option is to look at the family situation. Who's available to help out and what resources are available to help when it isn't safe anymore. Is your loved one getting lost when they're going out for a
the
simple
dings
trip
on the car?
Yeah, they're going out to the grocery store and it's taking them a longer time to get back because they're going through neighborhoods and...
Or maybe they just don't remember how to get back.
That very well could be.
And nobody wants to do that because this is my independent.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the first things I always suggest to caregivers is give them an option before we're talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dad, maybe if we sell the car, we get $5,000 for the car, we could put that in a fund for you and you could use for cabs or Accessoride or all the different...
PSTA has the DART program.
Yeah.
Care Rides is available. There's a lot of different programs in the county that can help with that transition out of driving in a vehicle.
And many times the doctor will help.
Yes.
They'll listen if the doctor says they can't drive anymore. But what we were talking about earlier is we're the first generation that have to take the keys away.
You're right.
My mom didn't drive until she was much older and for a very short time, and dads didn't live as long as they did before.
Yeah.
And we know about it in Florida here because we have a senior citizen on every square inch.
Well, and here's the thing is we have so many people just in Pinellas County alone that, driving in and of itself on a good day, you have congested roadways. And so there are challenges just for normal everyday driving. Right. No less when you're looking at, getting lost or a little bit of the confusion setting in too. So.
And there may be a time that you might just have to disable the car though.
Well, and here's the thing: is looking at what's safe for your loved one. Do you want them to potentially get lost, or we have what we call a silver alert if they go, for a long period of time, and there's some type of a condition that warrants that. Do we look at when is it no longer safe, and what can we do? And like that money could be used for other transportation options.
And as always with everything, let's have this conversation before it's time to take the keys away.
Do it early.
So I tell my grandchildren now, when I can't drive anymore, you owe me 50,000 miles each. Because I don't want to be hurting myself or someone else, and I don't want to go out and get lost and not knowing where I am. So try to turn it into a positive thing.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, too, is, having a plan ahead of time is huge. Looking at having those documents, we always talk about, Linda, power of attorney, healthcare surrogate, it's important for everybody because anybody could be in an accident.
Exactly.
But especially when you're looking at, potentially looking at changing driving patterns, changing driving options, right? Is that gives family and friends that opportunity to help, in those times when, it's time to do that transition,
Well, and it could be a good part about it because I know one woman that finally her family said you shouldn't be driving anymore. But now her granddaughter takes her a lot of places, and she gets some more time with her granddaughter that she didn't have before.
Focus
so she
on
said it
those
wasn't
positives.
so bad.
Look at those positives, that interaction time, and then also too, that's also beneficial too. And I always have to talk about the scams because, as people get calls, hey, you've won the $1 million lottery. That time in that car, that conversation time is huge.
Yeah.
Talk about what's coming on the phone or what's coming in the mail or email.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about liability. If I'm the POA for mom, I'm on the power of attorney, and she's not going to stop driving, and she gets an accident, what happens?
So power of attorney it's an interesting document, and this is something where you talk with your elder law attorney when you're setting these up. So power of attorney is it's essentially an authorization that somebody else can help you. You see it a lot of times with, even in military families, somebody's deployed, it allows the spouse or family member to take action on their behalf, right? So it's a very powerful document and something that, definitely have that early conversation on, okay? The liability for the drivers is really when they're out there on the road and they're unsafe. But the power of attorney is an empowering document for family members, caregivers to be able to take action on behalf of their loved one.
So does that mean I have power of attorney? I can say, Mom, you can't drive, and it's too bad?
No, it doesn't. So that's something where it gets into that senior legal realm. Where you definitely want to talk with an elder law attorney. If you feel that it's unsafe for your loved one to be driving, Here's my recommendation, okay? The DHSMV has a driver re-exam form, okay? It's something that a lot of times for law enforcement in the course of our duties, be it traffic accident or whatnot, and we see a pattern, a history with a person, a law enforcement officer or a doctor may end up putting a reevaluation request in.
Okay.
So the DHSMV, the Department of Highway Safety Motor Vehicles, of course we love our acronyms in government, right?
Yes.
So they have online, you can download a PDF form to request a reevaluation, okay?
Okay.
This is where that firsthand knowledge just comes into play, all right? As we talk about, don't cut the brake lines, right? Don't,
Right.
you want to keep
Don't
the
grind
vehicle,
the key down.
Yeah, exactly. We want to keep the vehicle safe for them, but here's the thing is there's a process to go about getting that reevaluation done. The Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles paved this many, many years ago, and it's available online. It's very easy for caregivers now to go through and have it done. And here's the beauty of this, all right? Because you submit this form, you say, this is what I've observed. These are the conditions involved. It might be Alzheimer's, it might be dementia, it might be traumatic brain injury,
You can't move your feet fast enough.
It might be physical ailments.
Right.
So you submit this form to the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, and from there they'll review it, and you're going to get a correspondence for that individual in the mail. Okay. And a lot of times that'll lead to a doctor's evaluation and potentially a road test as well. Okay. So there's a legal process that protects that person's rights, as an individual.
Yeah, and I think, and then the whole thing too is giving them the other options. So, I think lots of times once they finally do stop driving, they're happy.
Yes.
They're happy they're not driving anymore because they're scared while they're driving.
And you see all too often the dings and dents on the car, and talking with drivers, it just there's the real fear because there's so many vehicles on the road, and you see so many car accidents, on our arterial roadways here in the county. So it increases their safety, increases the safety of others, and it's something where it really does just overall, it benefits the person. Like we talked about that time, one-on-one time with loved ones, family, that they don't get otherwise, And then also too, if you opt to go with like a DART or a Care Ride or some of the other transportation options in the county, it just gives you that assuredness that that you'll get from point A to point B, less worry, less stress.
Yes. Safe.
And then your families, they're not stressing over it, you're not stressing over it. It's a beautiful thing all across the board.
Yeah.
So it's not always an easy conversation, but the benefits are wide.
Yeah.
It's definitely a great option to start looking at other transportation abilities.
Thanks, Joel. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So tune in next Tuesday for another little conversation with Officer Joel Quattlebaum about how you can keep your loved ones safe. And remember, this tip is brought to you by Arden Courts, where all they do is memory care. If you have any comments, leave it down below, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a delicious day.